Yes, it's I think it just went 3-0.
That's a great start, I think. Let me
I'm
just
just refreshing right now because I can't really see us. Oh yeah, now I can see us on Twitch.
I'm going on Twitch now, and I have the YouTube here.
And yeah, now I have YouTube as well.
Okay, now I'm going on Twitch. Just 1 second. Okay, well, while Twitch is opening, I'm just going to say that today we are going to look at Paul Keres, another very strong player who likes to attack. He's got a famous line in the Sicilian named after him, the Keres attack. Though I'm not sure how much he played it, because in my database I only found a few games, like maybe 3 or 4 games is what I found, but maybe at least I hope they are not in the database, all of them. No,
Yeah.
Cannot be. It's just
well, it's a nice thing to get an opening or a variant named after you.
Yes, I think so. That's
Yes.
Okay, and we are okay. Hi, Harish. So today
Hi,
we have some information about myself, no longer about Keres. Thank you.
That's good. Our constant information provider.
Yes, I was waiting for the details. Did you know that Keres was called the Eternal Second? He always came second in the tournament.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. Yeah, we were just talking before, me and
It's
Sophie.
good that we're giving him some attention now.
Yes, he deserves a lot of attention. He was a very strong player, and he's got some very, very good games. We are not going to see any games in the Keres attack today, but he does have a famous one against Boleslavsky, which does end with a king on with a king on b6, all the way from e8. So it is a pretty nice king hand. But I have many other nice games to show you. So
great.
So let's see. As usual, we are going to start with a warm-up with an easy exercise. This is a game of Keres against Alekin. Hope I pronounced his name correctly today. And it's white to play.
Yes.
There's a beautiful tactic that Black missed here. Apparently, he's just played Queen b4, which is a big mistake.
Oh, it's white to play the tactic, right?
It's white to play the tactic, yes. Black has played Queen b4,
yes.
And this is the move that allows the tactic. So what do you guys think? I know Sophie already has it.
Yeah.
She's already found it. For everybody watching us on Twitch, we still have the same problem that the name won't show.
Oh, yeah.
So
maybe we can get some bot to change it.
Yes,
later.
Please help us change the title. We are looking at Paul Keres' games. Deadly King Hands is our subject today. Okay, so Harish has it as well?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, let's see it. I see nobody else for now, but please do. We are watching both Twitch and YouTube chats. So let's see. Queen takes d7 is the move, and here Black resigned. The point is that after rook e7 there is rook e8, and Black is lost. This is mate. Okay, easy one. Let's see this one. Sorry.
Oh.
Somehow they always go to the end. Whenever I upload a new game, they go to the end. But I don't think I've ruined too much of this exercise. It's white to play. This is a game of Keres versus Kuraiza.
And so it's white to play.
It's white to play. This is very cute.
It's a cute one, okay.
Yeah.
See, it's not as easy as the first one. So material is even. Let's see if we can win some. Okay. I don't think any queen sacrifices work in this position, as far as I can. Oh, maybe it does actually. Let me just see, because I could give a check, then go here, here, rook h3, but does he have time to? No, I don't think it's quite working. If I take here, he can probably just recapture by something. Maybe taking an f7 is better.
Mm-hmm. We have so many captures here, no?
There's so many things to look at. Take. Bishop is still pretty well protected on e7.
Complicated.
I might look in the chat and see if
anybody has suggestions
any help
for us.
Yet. Yes, I think maybe. No, hi.
Hello to everybody just joining now. So good to see you guys.
Few people are actually saying,
yes.
Yeah, YouTube. So Rama is saying queen takes h3. Bandita is saying queen takes h3. Okay, I'm gonna look at that line again, even though I first rejected it. Okay, so he has to take, otherwise he's just definitely worse. And then, then maybe I take an f7. I can either take an f7 or play bishop f4. Does anybody have like the move after queen takes h6? Because we need to finish this.
You can't just sacrifice the queen and hope for the best.
The bishop check makes the most sense, so that the rook is ready to join on the h file. Say he goes back. Okay, two people.
Harish agrees that this is a bit tough, so you're not the only one here.
Oh, of course, I can't take an f7. I didn't even see that it's but is it good enough though? I guess it is, but we are just losing the knight as well. So we take here, win a pawn, then he takes back, so we lost the queen. Then we take here, we get 2 pawns for the queen, he moves his king somewhere, and we take his queen, and he takes back. So then we got, but then the bishop is hanging.
That's right, yeah. That's then the whole point.
So we win 2 pawns and destroy his king's position.
Yeah, that's the point, that the bishop on e7 is hanging in the end, and I was seeing this idea on Twitch as well.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for you to spot the fact that the bishop is hanging in the end. And okay, let's see the line. Queen takes h6, king takes. This is what you are looking at. Knight f7. Let's say king g7, knight d8. And here black has 2 options. No, but if rook d8, then rook e7. You get back the piece and you have 2 extra pawns. And if they take with the rook, with the bishop, the point is that the rook is hanging, no?
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry. Rook e8. What did I do here? I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to replay it from here. Rook e8. That's the thing. Knight e8 and rook takes e8. Again, just to clear pawns up.
Yeah.
So here after queen h6, black played king g8, but this is... I don't know which position is worse, no? Bishop h4, and this was...
It seems very dangerous to keep the queens on the board.
Yeah, and now he played knight g6 just to open the king side, and here black resigned.
Yeah,
okay.
Understandable.
Understandable, yes. It's just too much. Let's see the next one. This is a very nice game where he beats Smyslov. Oh, and another thing about Keres is that he beat many world champions, most world champions.
That's the thing with the seconds, the eternal seconds.
They beat many strong people, yeah?
Yes.
He's beaten Smyslov, Tal, Oive as well, I remember.
Is this white to play?
It's white to play, and here I'm going to tell you what he played. He went for knight g3. He's just improving the pieces here. We don't have anything direct, but he's preparing. Knight f5 might be an idea. Black's pieces are a bit misplaced here. The knight on e8 is quite bad. It should be on e4 normally. But here white got a comfortable position.
Oh, and this was against Smyslov.
And this was against Smyslov, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So here he goes g6. And g6 looks necessary because it stops knight f5, but on the other hand, it weakens the king side, no? Maybe here c5 could have been tried, just to try to get some counterplay, maybe open the pieces. But of course, knight f5, queen f6. And here maybe accept the isolated pawn, take with the knight, and try to get some activity. Although it's still difficult. I think white is much better still. But in the game, white got even more. So after g6, what would you guys play here?
After g6?
Yeah.
It would be if the queen was not on d6, it would be very tempting to take on g6.
Not yet.
Not yet. But maybe, I mean, we could add some more pressure on g6 by going knight h4. Could we even... Oh, there's something... No.
What else do we have here? What do you think?
Okay, let's see. There are no checks in this position, so we don't have to worry about that. We can't... It doesn't make sense to take on g6 because you can take with this queen. True. Or you can take with the pawn, but just the queen is protecting. I don't think there are really any other captures that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like c7 is still protected, and so I think it has to be like a quiet move, just something that threatens something. And those, I think, are the hardest ones to find.
Yeah, here we are still in on the stage that we build. Now we haven't.
Yeah, there is something about there's like just
knight f5. Knight f5 has also been suggested in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm not the only one looking at this because it looks weird. But I mean, he has to take it because it's threatening both the queen and h6. So if he takes and we take back, it's like the king gets very what do you say, airy, like lots of. True, and then maybe after that we could get the other knight somehow into the attack, and but I can't really see anything leading to winner of material or checkmate or anything.
Yeah, and it looks like black has enough pieces to defend, no? For now, and we need some more.
Twitch, YouTube is quite active. Let's see.
Yes, you have many interesting suggestions there. 95 is one. So what's the idea of 95? What if I just take the pawn? Do you guys want to take on g6? I was thinking that I could cover with my queen after you take on g6. Still, I don't think it works, no?
No.
No, here Harish is right. We have to try to weaken the king side, no? So whenever they play g6,
h4?
We play h4, yeah.
Okay.
Just going for h5. This is typical in these structures. Whenever g6 has been played, you have the idea of pushing h4, h5. Actually,
that makes sense.
The problem of g6 is also that it gives a contact point. No, it gives a rupture point. So So here black goes h5 himself, but this also weakens. So now we have this nice square for the knight.
Yeah.
Here black goes c5 finally. And what would you do here?
Now I would really, really consider taking on h5.
I know.
But of course we have to find out if it's also because maybe, I mean, he probably wants to push this pawn to c4 and we don't want to lose both the bishop and the knight. That's too much. But let's say that we take here.
Yes, a hook. That's what it's called, how it's called. When he plays
What's it
g6,
called?
a hook.
A hook, yeah.
A rupture point or a breaking point is also called a hook.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say we take here. Then I guess he can either take with his g-pawn, or maybe he could even go for c4. But I think c4, the thing is c4 could be annoying. Maybe.
Okay, so you have two, no? You have g takes and c4. Yeah,
and we can, and it looks like we get some pieces into the attack. But I'm not so sure if I take an h5 and he plays c4, if that's annoying.
Okay, keep looking there. After he
maybe
plays
we could go. What do you say about c4?
Yeah, just keep looking. What do you play after c4?
If I take on h5?
Yes, in that line.
Okay, okay. c4.
For everybody joining on Twitch, yes, the title is wrong and we can't change it ourselves. We need some help.
Yes.
If anybody with the Twitch account can help us, would be great. But there's an error with Twitch that we cannot fix.
Okay, then we just move this knight, this bishop, and he can't take an h5 because then queen h7 would be checkmate.
Yes, nice.
So therefore,
so one line works, yeah.
He has to take. Okay, so that's good. Then I kind of wish this bishop was not here.
Good point.
So can we like sacrifice it somewhere? Like maybe we could even just take here, and then we would both threaten this bishop and threaten checkmate on h7. That looks like we win the material back plus 2 pawns.
So you threaten here and you threaten here.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay, good.
So this was the... okay, good. I am prepared for the tournament.
Yes.
Yes, this wasn't played in the game, but I think knight h5 was very strong here. And black just can't take, because if pawn takes h5, bishop a6 is the point. It's not so easy to see it, but it's very powerful, no?
Yeah.
And then queen h7 and bishop b7 are threats. You haven't even lost material after you take on b7. Yeah. And if c4, this is the other line that Sophie was looking at, then bishop f1 simply pins the pawn, because if pawn takes, queen h7 would be mate.
Yeah.
So that still doesn't work. So this would have been maybe almost winning, no? After knight h5. But in the game he played another move that had been suggested for a while here, bishop f5.
Yes, I like that as well.
That's also nice, no? You don't lose any of the advantage. It's true that knight h5 was more direct, but this is also very strong. So bishop f5, the point is that this cannot be played because now knight f5, and there is a big threat of a knight jump someplace and queen h7.
Yeah.
For
Queen
example.
and knights work very well together.
They do, yes, especially in the attack.
Yes.
Knight e7 now is over. Yeah. Okay, so after bishop f5, black doesn't take, he doesn't have to, and he takes on d4. What are we going to do here?
We could take an h5 now.
I don't know.
Maybe it's not working because he has. Let me just see. If we take an h4, it's a pretty way to play it. Just having two pieces that can be taken. he can't, I don't think he can take this knight and h5 because then we can take this knight and then h7 is would still be checkmate.
Yeah.
But maybe he could, if we take here, he could take the bishop.
Yeah, that's another option.
And then if we take back, his queen could maybe somehow defend this position. I think it still looks like promising. But maybe there's something where we don't risk anything. We could take on d7 first and then take on h5. It's the same motive as before.
Yeah, but the thing is that I don't have to take on h5, no? So now I have a pawn on d4, and maybe I could keep taking something like rook c8 and keep taking on e3.
Is still protecting f6. Okay, I'm gonna look like see if there are any suggestions.
Yeah, let's see.
Doesn't look like anything is going on the Twitch chat. What
and
about
nothing on YouTube?
On YouTube.
What's happening?
Hey,
everybody's silent.
Say Anna is suggesting to take on d4 with the rook, and then go e4 next.
Yeah, that's of course. You can take on d4 here.
I mean, I guess, and there are multiple good moves in this position, or is there like one?
No, it's not only one. Bishop takes d7 and rook d4 is one. Yes, you can just take on d4 and then, continue the attack. But there is one that is really strong.
Yeah. I also like Akhil's suggestions about, but that was what I was also suggesting.
Yeah, we can see that.
d7 and taking on its h5.
Bishop
d7. And how is bishop e6?
And knight h5 was your suggestion. Let me just show this. I think rook c8 or taking on e3.
A few people are actually suggesting. Yes, this was what we were thinking about.
I was thinking here, or even take on e3 directly, or rook c8 first. Which one is better? Maybe taking on e3, because after rook c8, you go queen d3, no?
Yeah.
And you can take on e3 with the... Can you take on e3 with the queen? I don't think so, because the knight is hanging.
Yeah.
But okay, let me just take directly and then go rook c8. Maybe queen g4 is also an option first. Feels like
yeah, maybe
I'm defending.
Yeah. And how is have we sacrificed maybe a pawn or something? It could end up going wrong.
Yeah, we have sacrificed a pawn on d4. But there's also... Okay, now there were two people suggesting this, Harish and Romanik. Bishop e6. Bishop e6 is what he played.
What a weird move.
Very weird move. That's what I liked about this game. No, he just played bishop f5. That's why I included it, because I was seeing this game now, and it looks like, okay, very nice here, knight h5. But then I see bishop f5, and I thought, wow, very nice move. And then here I see bishop e6, and I'm like, wow, even better, no?
Of course, yeah. I just had to. I mean, I can see that he can't take it because g6 is hanging.
Yeah, that's the point.
And what's the threat here? Do you want to take an f7? Take an f7 and maybe then take on g6 afterwards?
Yes, I do want to take on f7 for sure. I want to take on g6 actually first, if I'm allowed. Right away, I'm threatening this. No.
Yeah.
So. How does he defend? Because if king g7, then knight h5 should be very strong. If king g7 in this position, I mean.
Yeah.
I think simply knight h5. And the same idea with queen h7 should be possible. And if king any place else, then I just take on f7. So that's that. He played d3. In the game, makes sense. Get rid of this pawn, and now knight e5. Defend g6, queen b1, and now is when he takes on e6. But now we have f4. And again, queen takes g6 will be a problem. He plays king g7, and now we get back the piece. And what would you do here? This is a game by Keres versus
Oh,
Smyslov.
I would play rook c7. Check.
You would?
Yes.
And
Because you can't take because of knight e6.
knight e6. And what if I take with my knight?
Well, then it's a problem. Okay, I wouldn't play. I hopefully wouldn't play it in a classic game. I would just lose a blitz game. And this is a game between Keres with the white pieces and Smyslov with the black pieces. And I think it was a classical game, right?
Yeah, it was a classical game. I don't know if... Yeah.
Okay.
So rook c7 doesn't work because of knight c7. A few people are being tricked in the chat as well.
Yes. Okay, but then maybe that's good that I'm not the only one being tricked.
It looks tempting.
We could perhaps take here on h5, and if you take, then go whoop, queen h7. Then you would have to go here, rook f1.
And that should be over, no?
Yeah, then we're at least winning the queen.
That does work, yes. Knight takes h5 directly works. And then rook f1 is suggested in the chat. Yes, then rook f1 in case the king runs away, no? In case of king h6, you can play rook f1. And this should be very good for white. Probably almost winning. The point is that pawn takes is met by queen h7.
Yeah.
And this is leading to mate. But in the game, he played rook f1 first. Seems like it might transpose, no? Because in the previous line, you were also playing rook f1 in case of king h6. But the point is that he wants to bring more pieces and play for these ideas as well, no?
Yeah.
Rook f1. And here, there was a difference between the two move orders. And the difference is that here, black would go knight f6. And knight h5 is no longer possible. Don't know, maybe rook f6 could be interesting as an idea. But here, it seems that black could maybe try to defend. Knight takes h5 directly. Instead of rook f1, the move that you were looking at was more precise. He played knight d6 though in the game. Oh, if he takes on e3, this pawn is hanging here. The idea is that you just play king h2 and then rook f7 is coming. And now without the queen on e5, knight f6 is no longer possible, no? I think. Because...
It looks very dangerous to...
No, because I have rook e1. I should have rook e1 as well.
Yes.
The idea is that I have two threats. I have... Hold on. I have this one and I have this one. And d6 is also hanging. And knight h5, of course.
Yeah,
that's still
always knight h5.
So he tried, well, he played knight d6 in the game, and this does transpose to our previous line. Knight h5, king here, and knight f6 was played. I'm threatening knight g4. So he takes here. Moves away, queen d4, defending g4, but now he leaves e6.
The knights are really loved in this game.
Yeah, they win the game.
Yeah.
King g1, now there's no more check on d4. He tried d4, but the queen gets in. Here, and now queen c7. Very nice, no? Going from all sides.
Yeah, that's really like a motive of the queen, just really making long moves.
Yeah. Okay, nice win versus Smyslov. So, and let's move on because today we have to finish on time. There's another stream starting after us, so we don't want to.
No, we don't want to just
to go over. That.
Oh, and I just see a tool asking what my rating, my standard rating, my FIDE rating is 1818.
1818.
1818. Yes, I won 5 rating points in the tournament in Norway.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, slowly.
Getting there.
Improving. Yeah.
This is a game against Ruben Fine. Keres with white, Fine with black. what would you play with white? I'm just going to give you a few minutes to think. It's a very important idea.
Okay. The first thing that comes to mind is what do you call it? A rook lift. We already lifted.
We already did that, yes.
But like going here with the rook, or maybe only to g3, but something with the rook here. But let's just see if we can make it a little bit more concrete.
I'm just going to say this again for the people watching on Twitch. The name of the stream is wrong. So the stream of Hare Krishna is over. And our stream is about the games of Paul Keres. And we are looking at them.
I'm looking at knight g5 with, I know I'm not threatening to take on h7 yet, but it's maybe, I mean, if I could get to take here, that might be uncomfortable for black. Well, I'm not sure. It's also just to clear the way for the rook to go somewhere on this file. So maybe if I played knight g5, if he tries to kick it away by playing, because I think if I put my knight in g5, I have a threat about going e5, and this knight has to jump and then taking on h7.
But what if I take on d4 after knight g5?
Yeah, then I'm not threatening to go.
It would go e5, yes.
That might be a problem.
I think you guys are overestimating your position. This position is not that great for white. I mean, you only have one move. No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We only have one move to
keep the game level and complicated.
Okay. I always try to win my positions.
I know, that's good.
Lost. Okay,
that's so what you have to do, yeah.
I know. Okay.
Radu, we are watching both chats, so you can send your ideas anywhere.
I think these are comments from E5 is being suggested.
Yes, E5 is being suggested
E5,
as well
D5,
in Twitch.
D5, E5. It looks like people want to push some
pawns.
So let's see if any of them make sense. So you say there's only one move to keep the game going. So if we play E5.
Yes.
We threaten the knight. And this time he can't take on d4 because our queen is...
yeah, no, d4 is protected.
Is protecting.
Yeah.
So then I guess he would have to move the knight. Unless he can take here first, because that knight could potentially be a really great attacking piece.
Take on f3, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, take on f3 before he moves the knight, or instead of moving the knight. Because if he moves the knight here, he doesn't have that many good... Maybe he could jump here, but then kind of... I think I get peace to launch an attack. So going here, maybe he has to take an f3.
The thing about e5 is that you kind of give some squares, no? You leave
yeah,
the
I mean, especially d5 and...
Okay, let's see. e5. I'm going to go knight d5 here.
Okay, and then I want to jump on g5 with my knight.
Knight g5 here you want to play?
Yes.
Okay, but isn't everything almost defended?
Maybe it's not so dangerous, I think. Maybe you can just take my rook.
Take on e3, yeah? That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, that's because I feel like I would... there won't be a checkmate, that's true.
So knight g5, take on e3, take on h7, king f8. How is that? Maybe I'm losing because king h8, king e7, queen h8, king e7. You take on g7, and I think e6 will be hanging afterwards, right? So
yeah.
I'm just going to make some arrows before I show it. Let's train some calculation here, guys. So
yes.
Knight e3, queen h7. You run Queen h8, king e7. This is the line I was looking at. Now I'm threatening f7. And the problem is that when black defends, e6 will also be hanging, right? Because f7 is pinned.
Yeah.
That may be dangerous. I don't know if I want to get into that. I can play h6 here, no? I still have that option after knight g5. And I think if I play h6 in this position, I'm fine, right?
Well, that's when I wanted to play rook h3.
Rook h3 you wanted to play.
Yes.
So now you want to mate me if I take on g5?
Yeah. I mean, of course you don't have to take.
No, I don't have to take, and there is no threat. Or is there a threat? No threat.
No, maybe you could even go queen c1.
Nice. That's a nice move, queen c1, yes?
Yeah.
That's a double attack.
Just gonna see. Somebody's also buying play g4 like a boss.
Okay, Harish wants to play h6 as well. Yes, I think that's the move.
Oh, and I can see there's one of my friends is saying hi from Denmark. Hi, Rune.
Nice. I need people here.
Yeah.
d5 and e5, that's another suggestion. Let's take a look at this. The lines that we were looking at, let's show them on the board. So we first look at knight e3, but then I don't like this, right? King f8, check, king e7, queen g7. And here I feel like I'm going to lose this because knight e6 is coming, yeah?
Yeah, you have to protect f7 and then, yeah.
I thought this would be a problem. Knight e6. Yeah. No, I don't like this with black. So here I have to go h6. In this position, hold on. I have to leave you with the rook. And here you wanted to play rook h3, and Sophie found the refutation, queen c1.
The refutation on my own.
Yes, of your own line. Queen c1 threatening the knight on g5, the rook on e1. The point is that rook c1 is mate.
Oh, can you refresh the... Because I don't have it on my...
There you go. Queen c1. Do you see it now?
Yes, I see it now. Good.
Yeah, so this is... Okay,
also threatening the knight on g5.
Yes, I was wondering knight f3, but I think you don't have to do anything, right? Because knight f3 does not threaten rook c1. So I can just play knight f4 maybe.
Yeah.
Keep bringing more pieces.
That looks good.
Okay, so the problem of this line was that if we play e5 here, knight d5 is very annoying. Very active piece. Here I thought that you might want to play rook e4 and pass the rook, but here I thought that I have knight e7 and knight f5. Just bring my... I don't know if you see the line, Sophie. Do you see it? Okay. Here I was wondering if knight e7 and knight f5 is not... This can be an idea, no?
Yes, I don't have to. It feels like the rook and queen, they're not quite coordinated.
Yeah. And then queen c3 is going to be a threat as well. From black side. Don't forget that this is a passed pawn here on b4.
Yes.
Okay,
pawns can also matter.
So here e5 has the problem of knight d5, which means that first we are going to go d5.
The other pawn move.
The other pawn move.
The other pawn move.
d5, this is a typical idea. You're going to see it in many games. It's a positional pawn sacrifice. The point is that you want to close some of your opponent's pieces. So right now you wanted to play e5, but knight d5 is an issue. But what you want to do is occupy this square with the black pawn. And now you push e5, and this bishop on b7 is hitting against its own pawn, and knight d5 is no longer an option. So here we are going to use the square d4 for our pieces.
Yeah.
As well, knight d4 can be an idea, knight f5. Here our pieces are already on the king side, but I remember a game played in the Women's Grand Prix in Monaco. I think it was Alexandra Goriachkina, who played this idea, she has a very nice game like this where she brings all the pieces to the king side here. Rook d1 to d4, and then the queen passes over. It's a really beautiful attacking game as well.
Yeah.
So now
and it's very committing, right? Because now black has two pass pawns.
Two pass pawns,
so
okay.
we have to checkmate, otherwise it looks like it's just going to lose in the end game.
No, yes, we have to go for the kill here.
In for the kill.
And black has two options, knight e4, and here Harish said that he wanted to go e6, and he's right.
Okay.
e6 is the idea. And we have this rook e4 and knight g5. Or bishop e6 first.
Yeah.
We have at least a draw, no? After h6, I think we have to take the draw. We have a perpetual. Yeah. King h7 and knight g5. But here black can go wrong, because g6, for example, is a mistake in this position. And it loses to bishop f7, right? h7 is hanging and g6 is hanging. Yeah, this is the point. He didn't play knight e4 in the game. He went for knight d7. My guess is that he wanted to defend. He played knight f8 next, so I think that he just wanted to have everything covered, no? And then use the extra pawn. So here knight g5, as you guys wanted to play before. What if black plays d4 here? Wait a second, here, right?
Instead of moving the knight?
Instead of moving the knight.
Okay.
It's a question that we have. What if he plays d4? Can we just take it, knight d4 and knight d5 is the idea? But then rook h3. I think we get a much better version of the previous lines because all our pieces are open. Yeah, knight d5 and rook h3, the way you wanted to play before, Sophie. How is that? By the way, do you see the line on the board?
Have you played d4?
Yes, no. I have played everything.
I see it.
Knight d5 and rook h3 or rook g3.
Yeah, because now we haven't really sacrificed anything.
No, we haven't. And my bishop is open, the bishop from b3, and this knight can jump to f5, so maybe it makes more sense to have my rook on g3 now.
Yeah.
Instead of rook h3. But I could also play rook h3, provoke h6.
And then
yeah, exactly, no? Now I have an extra threat of queen h6. I think this looks really good for white.
I would like to play this with the white pieces. I would prefer the white pieces for sure.
Maybe you get to play this idea soon.
Yes, that would be nice.
How can you watch this on Twitch? Oh, I think you can't find it because the title is wrong. But if you go to the Twitch channel of Chess24, it's the one video that's live. Yeah, and it's called My Best Games with Hare Krishna. It's not, it's us.
We often get the titles wrong, but it's not our fault.
No, something wrong with Twitch.
Yeah, something wrong with Twitch.
So here knight g5, no? And the point was that he wanted to go knight f8, defending the pawn on h7. Okay, so now he defended. What are we going to do next?
You could play... Maybe we could get the rook into action, putting it on maybe on f3, or maybe on h3. One of these squares. We might even consider pushing the e pawn, and then if he takes, then take with the rook. Even though I'm not sure if it's going to, could be good. Or we could, no, we can't do that. We can't play bishop c2. What are you
getting very
laughing?
excited because Harish is getting very excited about the sacrifice.
Is it a queen
Sack,
sack? Can we
sack.
take an h7? Is that it? Sack,
Knight
sack.
takes h7 is also suggested in Twitch.
But can
I
we, do we want to
ricordi.
sack with the, do you want to sack our queen? I don't think we want to sack our queen, do we?
I don't think so, no?
No,
But
okay,
you'll have to tell me the full line.
just the knight. Just sacrificing the knight. Okay, and then rook h3, and then he cannot defend the knight, and if the knight jumps, then we go to h8.
And it's over.
And it's over, yes.
Knight h7. Come on, sacrifice. Yes, we have sacrifice. That's it. Knight h7 and
Come on,
h3.
yeah. You're being
really excited about the sacrifice, Harish. Yes. Rook h3 and well, if the knight moves, you are right. But look, your idea was played in the game as well.
But we take an h7.
And we take on h7, yeah. King f8, and here he simply defends, yeah? Rook e3.
Yeah.
The position is
like
great.
e6 might be coming.
Queen h8 also.
Yeah.
Play d4. And queen g7 now. Defend and check. And we don't care about the rook on e3.
No.
Just e6. Here he resigned, but let me show you the line. If pawn takes e3, e takes f7 will happen. King here, and now bishop e6. The king cannot go to the c file because of rook c1, and if king d6, then we take on c8 with check.
Yeah, it's covered.
And the king will eventually have to go to the c file, and we will win this. So Harry says that he became an attacking player from a positional player. That's good. I think I'm also a positional player, and I feel like
not so much.
And yes, seeing many attacking games really helps out, no?
But you have to combine. Like, you can't get attacking positions if you don't play positional. I mean, maybe you can, but it's a good idea to also be a little bit of positional.
Yes, of course. No, actually, the previous game started with d5, no, which is an idea that you often see played as a positional sacrifice. And I think this will be our last one because we have 10 minutes left. This is a game of Keres with white again against Jan Foltis with black. How would you start here with white?
Maybe going d4?
Maybe going d4. What do you guys think?
Going on this long diagonal, so he can't take with the knight, and if he takes with the pawn, then maybe just taking with the knight, putting more pressure on the knight on c6. d4 looks like the move that you should play.
d4 does look like the move you should play, yeah. Otherwise, well, this is another position where if you don't play d4, you're going to fall into a worse position.
Okay.
Because your pieces will become passive. If black gets to play bishop b7, rook d8, then no, this here, you'll have to put a pawn on d3, and I think it will be very difficult to find good squares for your pieces with white. So here you have to seize the moment and go d4.
Yeah.
The idea being...
Seize the moment, that's a good idea.
The idea being that the knight is pinned. Sorry?
Carpe diem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carpe diem, yes, that's right. So the point is that if c takes d4, I can take on d4, and the knight can take on d4 back. And if bishop b7, here we are actually winning material after knight c6. Queen d1, we have knight e7 in between move. That's terrible. And if bishop c6, then we take on d7, and the rook will be hanging in the end. Rook a8. It's not going to be an easy win. I'm not sure if we can win this. We should be able, but it's going to be difficult. No?
Did this happen in the game?
This did not happen in the game, no.
Okay.
I'm just showing this. Black has the bishop pair and better structure, no? So that should make that should be compensation for the exchange. I think this is going to be a difficult game, but well, it's an exchange up in the end, and we are the one trying to win. In the game, he played bishop b7, which looks like the natural continuation. And what do you do here? How do you continue?
Might want to just keep on going with this d pawn. To open up bishop. But
so, yes, I was just checking. I see there's a big debate on the opening that where this came from. No, this was a Sicilian. It was not an English opening. I'm going to show you the move order after we finish, after I show you the game here, so you understand how this happened. d5, push the pawns. Okay, Harish, we're going to push the pawns. Sophie also wants to push the pawns, so let's go. Knight a5. And what do we do here after knight a5? Still not that easy, no?
Unless we can play d6. No, the bishop is protected, of course. So probably we can't. Maybe we just take on. We take an e6. I'm not so.
That's an option, of course. No, taking on e6 is an option.
It just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, probably nothing is like winning here, but these are the sort of positions that. Okay, maybe we have to just defend c4. Maybe queen d3.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you play slowly here, no, if you play queen d3, if you play pawn takes e6, your structure will be still bad, and on the long run, black should be better. Black has the static advantage here, better pawn structure. If you go queen d3, probably queen a4. This could happen, no? And c4 is again hanging. Pawn takes e6.
I'm gonna look in the.
Can happen.
E6. Okay, could happen. Knight f4.
And knight f4 is another move that you can play here. Yes, this is more dynamic, no? Knight f4. You want to bring more pieces to the king side and eventually attack. But let me show you pawn takes e6, no? So you see that this is not so easy to play, because yes, you could create a bad pawn for black, but it's not enough. Bishop g2. Here you have two options. You can take on g2, pawn takes e6, and maybe knight f4, but still c4 is going to be an issue, no? Here black has this very strong move. Give up the pawn, but give it up on his own terms. Take here and knight c4.
Yeah.
His pieces are maybe slightly better. Maybe this is equal, but still these pawns are weak. And if we take on f7 in between move, then this...
And the rook becomes active.
The rook becomes active, the knight on c4 is very strong.
Yeah.
It's not easy, no?
No.
And knight f4 is the other option. Is what he played in the game, sacrifice the pawn and try to create some attack. The threat is queen g4, the threat of knight f4. If they allow us to play one more move. But he played knight takes c4. Now if we go queen g4, knight takes b2 is... Sorry? Something happened with my arrows, and knight takes b2 is the idea. So what are we going to do after knight c4?
I don't know, it feels like black is getting a little bit of the we could keep the bishop and go bishop a1, but it just feels like then black can maybe take on d5 and get a fine position.
Yes, so if you said A, you have to say B, no? You
Yeah.
have to go, you have to look for dynamic play here.
Bishop takes g7 looks like fun. That's what
That
a lot
looks
of
like
people.
fun,
Is that how we're saying B in this position?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
GB Java on Twitch also wants to sacrifice. Anna wants to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Everybody
Looks
wants to
dubious,
sacrifice.
though.
So let's
Still a bit of mixed
calculate.
feelings about bishop takes.
What do we do after
h7.
bishop g7? How is our line? Does it work or is it dubious?
Oh, maybe it does work, because so if we take on g7, he takes back. We could maybe go with this queen check.
Definitely.
And once he moves the king out of the check, we can go knight h5, threatening checkmate, and also threatening this knight on c4.
Yes, there are ideas like that. So let's see.
Yeah.
Bishop g7, king takes, queen g4, king h8. But here I think you have to insert the move pawn takes e6. If you go knight h5 directly, I wonder what about rook g8? You want to take on c4?
Yeah.
You want?
I think that's the only way to.
Here I have to play rook g8, right? And here I can take on d5. This would be. This is different. Can you see the line, Sophie? Can you see it now? Maybe?
No, I can see that. Yeah, now I can see that. Yeah, it looks like black gets a good center.
So that here you have two options. No, you have knight h5 even after pawn takes e6. It doesn't change. Pawn takes e6 if they take. No, actually you have knight e6 after if they take on.
That looks even better.
If pawn takes knight e6. Is even better.
But what if they play rook g8 in that position?
Yes, that's what happened in the game.
Ah, okay.
What do we do now?
We take the rook and then the queen.
We take the rook and that's how the game ended, yes.
Okay. And is it just winning or because... No.
It is,
okay.
yes. King g8, this is winning, right? We have what? An extra...
But he can play knight d2, maybe. Oh no, then we take on b7.
We take on b7, but I think this is what you can do.
Yeah, yeah.
Take here, king g2, and here is where you want to play knight d2.
Oh, we just play rook
Don't
e1.
you? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you promote the pawn. Rook e1, knight b1, and I wanted to take on e7. Yes, exactly. Okay. We don't have a lot of extra material, but I think it's enough to win, no? King f8, maybe knight d5.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, maybe push my pawn all the way to f6 and just promote the pawn eventually.
It seems a bit slow, but if it's working, then it's... I mean,
No,
nothing the pawn on d7 is so good.
This is winning, yes?
Yeah.
We have just one extra pawn, but it's a big extra pawn on d7. Okay. Well, we are approaching 4 p.m. sharp, so we have to stop. I was just going to very, very quickly show how this reset apply. This started like this, c5, and here one thing about Keres is that he played knight e2 against the Sicilian. If you want to look into this, this is a very interesting move order because he wants to play with d4. But knight e2, he used it against the knight of players. Like, for example, if black played d6 here, he played with g3. And then the point is that he wants to play bishop g2, c3, and d4. And then black doesn't get the sharp positions that they want. But if I remember correctly, against any other move, Like if they played g6 here, knight c6, he played d4.
Yeah, that looks like.
And he just transposes to the open
Like
Sicilian.
before.
But
Yeah.
this is meant against the Najdorf players. He used this move order, and this is how the game happened, because that's where we started from. Start with knight e2, then g3. Yeah, and black eventually played d5, so then they got to that position. And yes, we're going to have to cut it here. Thank you guys
Yes.
very much for watching. Happy holidays to everybody.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody celebrating this week, and hope to see you all next week. We are going to look at games of Petrosian, so that's going to be fun as well. Thank you. Goodbye.